what do we have here, Magic Nation? So, Filipinos clap back at black women to protect passport bros and then as their new kings. And I said, you know what? They can have these good for nothing knuckles. What these women don't realize is, black men are useless and they played out. Why do you think they get ran out of every country they go to? They done ran to Brazil, they get run out. They in Colombia, they not welcome there. They go to the Dominican Republic, they not welcome there. They go to Thailand, eventually they'll soon catch on and they gonna run them out. So they go on to the Philippines and other third world dirty foot countries to lay up with women because black males, they own nothing, they have nothing, they control nothing, and they know United States, Becky ain't checking for them because Becky is going to show up and say, oh no, you want this snow bunny wop? Well, buddy, it's going to cost you. So Becky then caught on and say, hey, you know what? Well, we're not going to be laying up with the kings for free. You're going to pay my rent, gas, light, phone. You're gonna do something besides make my racial kids you're not going to take care of. So you got a lot of black women, who've been making quite a bit of noise about the passport bros. But you know me, on my channel, I drag their ass and I clown them because I hope they all leave. I think that's a good thing. What a lot of black women don't realize is, let them go. Let these women in these third world countries get unalive. Let them get raped. Let them get assaulted. Let them get their asses whooped. Let them find out what we already know, since they want to protect the kings and they running around calling us hyenas and hollering about, well, look at my hair, it's so straight and it's so silky. So I'm going to go into a few things in a minute because they quick to holler about, why do you black women discriminate against us? And I said, discriminate? Ain't nobody discriminating. If you want a black king, you can have them. And then I'm going to show you what they have going on in the Philippines, what they need to be concerned with, because they're very racist towards black folks themselves, I have worked with some of these people, and I have lived around some of them, and I can tell you, well, let's just say they're not too friendly towards black folks. They love black men because they worship them. I wouldn't say love. They will run behind a black man because they're looking to get something out of them, and they know that the kings worship them. But for the most part, they just as racist as any other Asian society against black folks. But the kings are not going to tell you that. But I'm going to go into how they left all those children over there in the Philippines. I believe about 52,000, if I'm not mistaken. And I know for a fact they call them dust children. They call them all kinds of lowly names, especially over there in the Philippines and Vietnam. Those half black, half Asian kids, they suffer. Because over there in that culture, they what you would call purists. Either you're 100% or you're not. They even look down upon the half white ones. They get treated a little better, but the black ones over there, there's no work for you, there's no school, there's no respect. They look up and they see that crinkly head. They see them crinkly heads and they say, oh, dark skin and crinkly hair, half black, get away from me. Because over there, I looked up something and I was saying, okay, they claim black women hate themselves and we use all this skin bleaching products, which is not true. The black women that I do know who might use some cream products, that's just to get blemishes off their face. But over there in the Philippines and India, they come neck and neck as buying lots of bleaching cream, some of the highest in the world. See, they're not going to tell you that. But let me get into this video here by Tanya TKO, and then I'll tell you my thoughts. So let me play this.
Yeah, so that they are perfect. Perfect. All right, so we'll play the biggest caricature first, because this woman, I don't know if she's serious or not, but I'm going to play a bunch of videos for you all. Here we go. Listen. Brace yourselves. Brace. Why ain't it playing? Oh, come on. You see it says bros to kings on there. Let me refresh this and see if I can.
So, a hyena.
Listen, let me go back and pull this up now that it's playing.
So, a hyena asked me, girl, if you think we are the hyenas in the Western world, what do you call those passport bros, huh? Well, obviously, they are the victims of the hyenas. So, a hyena asked me, girl, if you think we are the hyenas in the Western...
You know something? I gotta get the volume up on this because she's talking low. Let me just put this on a whole other screen. Let me just put this over here. So as you see, she's talking about hyenas, right? You say they're talking about, she's calling people
there. And where do you think she got that hyena from? So these hoes, they sit around and they listen to the Black Manosphere and Minister Jap. And I'm sure a lot of the black males send them information to try to weaponize against us. So this is why when I tell black women, you ain't got no friends, you ain't got no allies. Now you see what I'm talking about. So these Filipinos, they just as bad as Becky when it comes to hating black women and discriminating against black women, because I have a family full of RNs, and the stories that they tell me working with them Filipino nurses will just make you just scream. So I have a young relative right now, and she just graduated not too long ago, and I told her, sweetie, let me tell you something. Avoid those women and avoid Maria too. Just go to work, do your job, keep your personal business to yourself, don't say nothing. And sure enough, she got so chatty with one of them Filipino nurses, and before you know it, the girl went backstabbed her and told the bosses something, was trying to get the poor girl fired. And then she called and said, how did you know? I said, sweetie, I work with these people and I have lived around them and I've gone to school with them, and I haven't seen much different from these people. So I just avoid them. Every now and then I come across one and I recognize that funny accent, and I said, oh, okay. Oh, we ain't got nothing to talk about. So
I'm not going
certain
to
people
publicize
I
her
avoid.
page, but her name is in the thing. You know how TikTok does it, right? So if you choose to go over, because part of the reason that a video is here today and going tomorrow is because these people are so sensitive on TikTok. It doesn't take much of some flagging to get a video taken down. So if let's hear this again, with the volume up, so that you don't have to strain your ears, because the hyenas. Listen.
So, a hyena asked me, girl, if you think we are the hyenas in the Western world, what do you call those passport bros, huh?
I call them passport bums, huh? And what do you call women in the third world with them dirty feet? Bottom of the barrel sex workers, huh? Funny that this one here got the most to say, and she laid up with a white zaddy. I said, oh, you got a white man. Well, if the kings are so wonderful, Miss Filipina, why didn't you get you a king? Y'all got to start thinking. These women come up here and they fight so hard for the kings. You know why? They want these black men to come over there because it's helping to fuel the economy. See, these women, they sit here and they talk trash about black women. And I said, well, at least we ain't got to sell WAP. At least we ain't got to run around here selling WAP for pennies. At least we don't have to pimp out our children. And I'm going to go into that in a minute, because I know for a fact in the Philippines, they sell their children. In fact, they got a black guy on YouTube, and I've seen other YouTubers talk about his video. His name is Gerard Black, Ask Gerard, and they have another one. His name was Roll the Tape. I think they took down his channel. And I said, oh, y'all go over there to these Asian countries because, pedophilia, that's, don't nobody talk about that. You can go over there and you can lay up with a young underage child, and they are okay with it as long as their money is going into the economy and it's going to their parents' pocket. See, they can say what they want about black American women, ADOS women, or whatever name you might want to go by, but we're not known for selling our children to tourists. We're not known for working in these rundown brothels and these little rundown places, selling your body for a few American dollars. See, they have to do it over there because those countries are very poor, and I'm going to show you how poor it is. So when they get to sitting around how about, well, where do y'all keep getting that from that our countries are poor? Everybody knows Philippines is a third world country. It is very poor, not a whole lot going on there, and that's why you see them marrying anybody, whether it be a black man or a white man or Australian or German, just to get the fuck up out of there to get a green card. I have seen this many times myself. I have seen so many of them, and I said, whoa, this girl looked like she about 20, 25. This man got to be at least 60, 70 years old. You see the stories online, so at least we don't have to marry old men from other countries just to get a goddamn green card, because I'm trying to get up out of the slums. But let me keep going.
Obviously, they are the victims of the hyenas. So, a hyena asked me, girl, if you think we are the hyenas in the Western world, what do you call those passport bros?
And she got the nerve. Look at her. You are the hyenas. The passport bros are the victims of the hyenas. Well, we gonna let y'all be the victims of the passport bombs, and when you get enough of them over there and they start getting underlived and bad things start happening, I'm gonna just sit back and whip out my phone and do my video and say, well, you know what? Y'all wanted the Black Kings? Well, now you got them. In fact, Tanya had played a clip from one of these passport bombs, and he was saying, you know, you can grape a Filipina and they will not call the cops on you. You can do anything you want to them sexually. You can smash him anytime. You can do anything you want. And I've heard more than one person tell me that here in the States, some white boy I know, he was in the military, and I said, hey, what is the fascination with those women over there? I'm just curious to know. And he looked at me and he was like, you sure you want to know? I was like, yeah, I'm curious. I really would like to know. Is it because they're so beautiful and they're so kind and they're so submissive and they bow down and they love white people? I know for a fact they love white folks. When I say they love white folks, I have worked with enough of them, and you talking about bow down, kiss, and lick white behind. I mean, it is just downright disturbing the way how they worship them. In fact, I had one girl I work with, and she was bragging about her bread, and I was like, the way how she bragging on this knuckle, he better look like Brad Pitt, he better look like Tom Cruise, he better look like Liam Hemsworth, he better look like somebody from TV, he better at least look handsome. I damn near fainted. She pulled out her phone, and this nigga looked like Howdy Doody. No lie. He looked like something, Carrot Top. Carrot Top. He looked something like Carrot Top. He was a funny-looking Caucasian dude with bright red hair and blue eyes, and I was like, that's him? Isn't he handsome? Isn't he cute? I was like, oh, yeah, he looks real nice. And I was like, Lord have mercy. She thinks she done hit the jackpot. I mean, I had never seen such an unattractive red-headed white man, and I was like, okay, well, yeah, this definitely about a green card or something, because there's no way in hell nobody would find that attractive. So that's one reason why you have lots of other men that go over there, because they are known for picking up with anything. And when I say anything, I mean anything, because who don't want to escape poverty? Who don't want to get up off that little rundown island? So, they are trying to get away from poverty. They were married for a green card, and they will play that submissive role, and they will sit there and smile and skin and grin, and she'll stay long enough to get what she need, and then kaboom. But it's funny that she said they are the victims of the hyenas, and I said, the victims of how? I said, we don't go around terrorizing black males. We don't go around dropping babies off that they didn't take care of. No, it's these kings that are going around terrorizing the black women, but they're just using these black male talking points that they've heard from the black manosphere and other black males online. So you best believe that these hoes is sitting around listening. But I got something that's going to shut them up and shut them down, because they love to run their mouths. And I said, oh, well, we going to show you what they do in the Philippines. And then let me get to that right quick. Let me finish playing this.
Well, obviously, they are the victims of the hyenas. So, a hyena...
Oh, Lord, but to cry my makeup off.
This is funny. They are the victims of the hyenas. And soon you're going to be the victims of the Black Kings. And we going to be sitting back here on this end saying, huh? What was that y'all was saying about black men? Oh, you ready for them to leave. Now you ain't running around and hollering about, me love you long time, Black King. Me sucky. Oh, y'all ain't going to be hollering about that. Y'all going to be hollering about, oh, they taking us out one by one. Every couple of days they taking our lives. And I said, oh, no. Let the passport bums stay over there permanently. You know, it's funny that they claim they going to these third world dirty foot countries to bring back wives, but I don't see no wives coming back. I just see them walking around with videos with these unattractive, bottom of the barrel looking women hollering about, oh yeah, look what we got. And I was like, well, look like a sex worker to me. Look like something you got from out of a brothel. And we ain't gonna even talk about the lady boys that these kings is running behind. But let me keep going.
Listen, this is the least offensive of them. This is the least. Oh my goodness. From bros to kings. Listen, this.
I'm looking at the chat. They said she's basically a madam. Yeah, so she's helping to pimp out her women. Y'all seen that video? Well, you know why black men need the Filipinas, because big girls don't cry. We want the kings to come over here to get the fat and the attractive women that the brats don't want, because we need the green card, black man. May love you long time. See, they ain't gonna tell you that part, but let me keep going.
There's more. 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 So this is the next one. Oh my goodness! You have read the title of the video.
Oops,
So,
wait a minute. Let me go back
today,
down.
I'm going-
Let me go back down. Let me get to this one here. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Okay.
Let's continue forward. So here. This look at this cute young lady. Girl, what are you doing? Girl, what are you doing?
And let me stop it right there. And I would advise no more black women. Please do not make any more videos like this on TikTok. Don't feed the trolls, the grapes, the apes, the hobgoblins. Don't give them any attention, because that's what they want. That's what they need. But let me keep going.
I gotta pull it down because I need you to see her hair, because that's going to be one of the points of contention coming up. Here.
For you bozos that's going overseas to sleep with women from third world countries because they don't know no better, right? They only know that you're American. They don't know that you're pro. As expected, she blocked my ass after I left a couple of comments on her Dusty page. But really, I want to know where these girls are getting their information
The internet.
from. We have been called poor, uneducated,
And they are.
can barely speak English.
And they can barely speak English. That's about right.
Now she's saying that girls from third world countries does not know any better. Like,
They poor and they need money.
where are you getting all of this?
The internet.
I've only seen one video of a white girl talking BS about girls from third world countries, but I've seen a lot of black girls talking BS about us, discriminating.
And y'all hate black women, and you do quite a bit of discrimination yourself, so they ain't gonna tell you that. But let me keep playing.
Girls from poor
You've been
countries.
discriminated against?
And you know what's funny? These are the people who's crying for racism and discrimination in the United States of fucking America. You don't want to get discriminated, but you discriminate another race? That's what you call self-entitlement. And no, sweetheart, we are not going to do it that way. If you want to be a self-righteous person, fix your wig first. It looks nasty. You see this? Not a wig.
You hear that? Fix your wig. You see this? Not a wig. But you fat and you funny looking and you look like you could be a trans woman. Funny how they quick to try to clap back at black women, but y'all don't have nothing to say about child prostitution over there. But let me keep going.
Smooth, silky, straight. A natural hair of a Filipina. So
Smooth, silky, straight, natural hair for Filipina. But y'all over there selling that WAP for $2 and $3 American dollars. So you ain't gonna talk about that. But let me keep going.
again, I'm not an angel.
Oh, I know you're not an angel because you've been busting it wide open for the brothers and most likely for the zaddy. So, of course, you're not an angel. I wonder how many bodies you got up under you. You know how they quick to holler about black women got this, black women got that. Well, those women over there, they have to use their bodies for a living because you need that bag of rice and them plantains. And I know for a fact those men go over there and they pay them very, very little to use and abuse their bodies and to take advantage of their children. But let me keep going.
You insult my kind, I'm going to clap back. Stop. Because I know how to hurt people with my mouth.
I mean, with the jack.
And it said, and this is why I do my own nails now. What? And that's another thing, black women. You got the money and the power to collapse these people's economy. So Biden and them passed that law to protect these folks. And I said, well, black women, where is the law to protect you? Because we all know everybody loves to come for black women because they know the kings hate black women, they disrespect black women, and they do not stand up for black women. So you best believe everybody on the planet knows that it's no big secret, but these women are protected. See, they got white society to look after them, and they have their own society. And black women, it's 2023. It's time to burn that cape. It's time to burn up all that mamming and muling and fighting for the kings. I don't care what happens. I don't care who get taken up by the cops, by whoever. Stand back, stand down, stay at home. And I think women who look like this on my screen, I think they need a riot and protest in these third world countries since they love black men so much. But let me keep going.
Like you know how to hurt people with their mouth. Oh Lord, I didn't say that out loud. Oh goodness, I said the quiet part out loud. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, we ain't gonna talk about them teethers. You need to go see a dentist and get some caps on them straggly teeth. But let me keep going.
I'm sorry. You know, listen.
For you bozos that's going overseas.
What is she doing? Dear, what are you doing? What?
No more of this, black women. No more. Do not give these niggas any of this attention. Let them go over there to the third world, please.
Why are you calling these men bozos? Listen, let them go. Let them travel. So here is this woman, right? I got more to show you from this woman.
And they said, fix your teeth. Oh, I forget over there in the third world, they can't afford dentists to fix them grills. But let me go into something here. Let me show you what they have going on over there. See, they ought to be more concerned with this. Philippine parents pimp out their children as COVID job losses mount. So they sell their children on the dark web. So before COVID kicked in, you could go there. And I know people who have been there. And this one guy that I asked him, and I said, well, do you see anything over there? Do you see prostitution? He said, oh, it's all over the place. And he said they sell their children. And I said, whoa, they still doing that shit? I thought they just did that back in the long time ago, when the military showed up. He said, oh, no, it's a way of life. Everybody knows you can go over there and you can buy something like this here on my screen. And they have no problem pimping out their children. But funny, those wonderful Filipinas, they don't ever talk about that. I said, well, how come y'all don't talk about the child prostitution that y'all have over there? Why don't y'all talk about that? The Filipino children and prostitution. There it is again. So it has been going on for a very, very long time. And this here, you got a gang of mixed kids that them soldiers left behind. So this is one of these kids here, because a lot of those women were sex workers and they got pregnant because they'll pay you extra just to bust off in them. And then before you know it, you got a little mixed admiration child and you done laid up with so many zaddies, you don't know who your baby daddy is. So they talking about black women don't know who their baby daddy is. And I said, well, wait a minute now, over there in the Philippines, they got about 52,000 people and nobody knows anything about the fathers except for yes, he was just some American and they dropped them kids off and too bad for you. Do you ever think about me, the children sex tourists leave behind? So it's funny that they love to clap back for black women. And I said, well, what about all them kids y'all got over there that they got left behind that they don't know who the father is? So let me go into this one here. And this one here, I said, why don't they talk about that food they got to eat out the trash can? Because they over there eating up the goddamn slum. I have seen documentaries where they had, it was a place and it looked like a chicken place. And, at the end of the restaurant, they dump all the food and you had people out back scavenging the scraps of food just to eat. And I said, whoa, this what they got going on over there in the third world. But see, those wonderful submissive Filipinas, they're not going to talk about that. I said, if your country is so great and y'all so educated and everything is so wonderful, why haven't y'all been able to fix your poverty problem? In the Philippine slums, meat scavenged from dumpsters, feed those short of meals and hope. So, let me go to this here. So as you can see here, this woman, she done scavenged a meal from scraps other people left, and that is very common over there. You'll see whole families in the trash can just getting what they can, salvaging a meal. And I said, that's funny. They love to talk about black women like a dog. And I said, well, at least here, we not getting scraps from out the goddamn trash can. So very, very common over there. And then let me go into this one here. So as you can see here, these children are half black. So these are the kids that the Kings left behind because, you know, black men, they'll stick their you-know-what into anything. And they have lots of children over there at the Philippines Forgotten Generation. So those are the half black ones that they discriminate against. So this woman is hollering about, how could you say you're discriminating? And I said, well, y'all discriminate against the half black and the half Filipino people they have over there. They discriminate against them here. I know quite a few. I said, oh, your mama Asian and your daddy black. Well, what do you know about the Filipino folks and the culture? And they said, oh, they don't have nothing to do with us. That's what we got to hang over here with the black people. And I said, oh, that's what I thought. So they ain't going to talk about that. See, the Kings, they're not going to tell you this. See, these are these half-black children that they left over there, and they suffer like dogs. They suffer, they suffer, they suffer. So it says here, United States military is set to return to the Philippines 22 years after being evicted. The imminent arrival of the U.S. forces has renewed focus on the thousands of Amerasians, followed by U.S. military personnel. And, yeah, that's the forgotten generation. So, let me see here. It said, Mary Jane Stevens lives in the gritty one-room house with her 3 children and 3 grandchildren. 2 sprawling mattresses pushed together and to make up a sleeping area, while on the stove, sofa, and TV make up the rest of the household. She worked the bars in the red light district that grew up around the major U.S. military bases of north of Manila, established following World War II. She now dedicates her time to taking care of her grandchildren. Her children don't earn much, but they help keep the family. They helped keep the family in food and water. Let me finish seeing what it's saying. And it says here, it has been more than 2 decades that the bases were operating. Hundreds of thousands of U.S. servicemen were stationed at the Naval and Air Force facilities or passed through on their way to conflicts in the region such as Vietnam and the Korean War. Yeah, the Kings plus the gang of black kids over there in Vietnam as well. Many struck up relationships with local women, many of whom, like Mary Jane, struck up relationships with Americans. When you meet them, they make you believe it's love, that it's going to last forever, but they just leave, the 41-year-old says. See, when the Kings show up, you know, when these other American soldiers, they speak all that, well, I love you, I'm going to bring you back to the U.S., I'm going to wife you, I'm going to take care of you. And in her mind, she's thinking it's a real relationship, and they just there to use you, pump you and dump you. And then next thing you know, you pregnant with a half-black baby, and you thinking, oh, boy, this ain't going to go too well because what am I going to do now? So it says here, there are now an estimated 250,000 Amerasians in the Philippines who can trace their heritage back to U.S. servicemen, a relationship that now stretches back several generations. Most are clustered around Angeles and, I can't quite pronounce that, Olongapo towns north of the capital, close to the Subic Naval Base and Clark Air Base. So, there's one of those sex workers there, because I know people who've been there, and you see them walking around because, well, that's how they make their living, selling that used up ran through WAP. So, it says here, Mary Jane Stevens, herself born to a Filipina and a U.S. serviceman, and just like her own children, she doesn't know who the father is. What? She don't know who the baby daddy is? Those wonderful, pure women? Those women who are holy and virginal? So, you got half of those women over there, they done laid up with so many kings and so many breads, they don't know who the baby daddy is. You just know that you got a mixed baby, and that's the end of that. So, it says here, my father was a black American. My mother worked behind a bar, and that's where she met my father, she says. You see that? You see that on my screen? My father was a black American. My mother worked behind the bar, and that's where she met my father. So, they were living together for a bit. And they didn't get married. You hear that? And they didn't get married because my grandmother didn't approve of the relationship, so she left. When I was about 10 or 11 years old, I tried looking for him, but I forgot his middle name, so I couldn't find him. So the King's been over there for a long time, slinging pain. Slinging that dangalang, and those women done laid up with so many black males, they don't know who the baby daddy is. You just know that you have black, and that's it. So who is my father? I don't know. I was laying up with so many black dudes at the time because I had to make a living, and well, there you go. And then let me go on to this one here. So there's another one here. Filipinos fathered by U.S. soldiers fight for justice. And that's another one. As you can see here, she's clearly half black, half Filipino. So as of right now, they said they have 52,000 of them that they know of. And those people, they're very, very discriminated against. And that is a damn shame because in that culture, they do not like black folks. See, the kings, they will let you believe that they wanted, everybody love them. No, they just want your money. They don't want your black skin. They don't want your nappy head. They don't want your black features. Because over there, you talking about white skin and straight hair. White skin and straight hair. Over there in the Philippines, if you got dark skin, crinkly head, you can forget it. They heavily discriminate against black folks. So, they call them Amerasians, a throwback to a time when America had soldiers. When they had soldiers in the Philippines, and some of these soldiers had local girlfriends. Yeah, they was lying to those women. They was like, oh, baby, I love you so much. I'm going to bring you to the United States. We're going to be a family. We're going to get married. And those women, they fell for it. They fell for it. So most of their mothers worked as bar girls, and the rest, most of their mothers worked as bar girls, and the rest in recreation areas surrounding sprawling American Naval Air Force bases. When U.S. troops left 20 years ago, they left behind the product of their liaisons. When these Filipino women, thousands of infants will grow up never knowing their American fathers. Many were abandoned by their mothers who were financially unable or too ashamed to keep them. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? So they dropped them kids off left and right just like nothing. So here it is once again. So it says here, now this generation of second-class citizens are starting to find their voice after a lifetime of discrimination, bullying, and worse. They are also eager to point out that America once again taking a close interest in the Pacific and likely rotates soldiers through the Philippines as part of its pivots to Asia. History may be about to repeat itself. The majority of Amerasians, an estimated 52,000, that's quite a bit, were fathered by Americans during the long military association with the country, grew up in the extreme poverty, raised by family members or guardians. They experienced intense levels of discrimination for being illegitimate, mixed race, or the children of prostitutes. Did you hear that? The children of prostitutes. Many were unable to finish high school and lacked the skills to find work and were denied jobs because of their skin color. So this lady here, Michelle Zavala Nuneg, 28, people assume that if you're Amerasian, your mother worked in a bar and that you'll be just like her. Working in the bar in the Philippines can be euphemism for prostitution. You hear that? See, the Black Kings is not going to tell you that, but this is where I come in at. Black Amerasians, those fathered by African-American soldiers, suffered the most extreme prejudice. Brenda Moreno, 43, does not know the names of either of her parents. As a child, she hid at home because she felt ashamed. Moreno said, they always called me nigger. What? You mean to tell me them wonderful Filipinos did that to her? I thought those women don't discriminate. I thought they don't do it over there in the third world. When I was younger, I told everyone I wanted to change my blood so I could be white. Forced to leave school at age 10, she feels imprisoned by the circumstances of her birth. I can't find a good job. I can't go to school. I'm just always working as a housemaid. She said, how can I change my life? I'm trying my best. So, this is what they do to have black children over there, that those Black Kings left over there in the Philippines. So, this lady here is suffering. She is suffering like a dog. Like she said, I'm half black and my mother dropped me off. I have no idea who my father is. And you just work a little menial job and that is the end of your life. So, there were some more Amerasian children. As you can see here, some of them are half white and quite a few of them in the photo, half black. So the King's been busy over there. So once again, Amerasians in the Philippines fight for recognition, and this is a damn shame. It would be great if they could let them come over here because they have Americans, so they can at least get some kind of a fair break. Because over there, when you look like this, black, kinky hair, dark skin, they say, oh, your mother was laid up with one of them soldiers, huh? So don't get fooled. Don't get it fooled. They do discriminate against black folks over there. So what this idiot is hollering about, well, you're the victims of the hyenas. I said, well, what about the victims that these black males left over there? They left quite a few half-black children. They got a lot of half-white ones. They fare okay, but the half-black ones, they face the most discrimination and they face the most racism. So, when Susie Lopez, 43, was a little girl, she would run outside in her home in Angeles City near the U.S. Clark base. I just said something about that in the Philippines. Every time she hear a plane fly by, I would say, bye, Dad, because the only thing I knew about my father was my dad was riding a plane. She recalls, the daughter of an American naval pilot and a Filipino mother, Lopez is one of the estimated 52,000 Amerasians fathered by American military servicemen during the decades in the U.S. and Air Force had bases in the Philippines, but the majority of their mothers worked as bar girls in the area's thriving rest and recreation industry, where soldiers were the regular clients. When the American military left the base in the early 1990s, these children were left behind. So, on March 4th, in honor of International Amerasian Day, a group of 60 Filipino Amerasians from the cities surrounding former bases was celebrating a special way. So, those children, they suffer. Left without fathers, many of these Amerasians were also abandoned by their mothers, who were often unable to care for them. The majority of the children were raised in extreme poverty. Once again, the majority of the children were raised in extreme poverty by family members and guardians with little access to social services and suffer from a lack of identity and intense discrimination. So they were stigmatized for being illegitimate and for being the children of prostitutes. Amerasians fathered by African American soldiers said they suffered the most extreme prejudice. So when you have these Filipinos sitting there hollering about, well, black men are the victims of the hyenas, I said, well, why don't y'all talk about these half-black, half-Asian children that y'all victimize over there? Why don't they talk? See, they don't talk about that. But see, this is where I come in at to expose this shit. So they sit around and they run their mouths, black women this, black women that. And I said, well, guess what? Y'all do quite a bit of, discrimination yourselves, because over there, they love white skin and straight hair, because that girl who was hollering about hyena this, I saw her other video and she was saying, Filipino men would never look at black women. Filipino men would never date black women. Bitch, black women ain't running behind Filipino men like that. So what you talking about? So, back to this here. And I'll type this up in the description where you can read this out for yourself. So, why don't Susie Wong and Ling Ling and them talk about the discrimination that they have going on in their own country? See, they're not going to tell you that. So, just let that sink in. They always got something to say, but y'all need to address the poverty you have in your country. You need to address that crooked government that you had. And y'all need to address how y'all mistreat them half-black, half-Asian kids you have over there in your countries. You heard what it said. Those women dropped them babies off and left them in the streets and said, hey, not my problem. 52,000 children in the Philippines alone.